Hey there, this is Beth, your sweet urban living lady, and today is bread baking day. I'm getting ready to make another attempt at my Kamut sourdough bread using a levain. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just making my levain, and in the other recipe that I shared to levain or not to levain, I used a mixture of Kamut and white flour, soft white flour, to kind of imitate the recipe that I had gotten from the Perfect Loaf on his levain. But today I'm just going to use straight Kamut, no soft white flour in it at all. That's what I've done the last couple of times, and they've been great. So that's what I'm going to do. So to get started, I have my scale, and I want to, and since I'm going to use this jar for making my levain, I'm going to put it on my scale, and then I'm going to clear the tare. So let me show you what I'm doing. So we have a 0, and make sure that it's on grams because my husband really likes to use this scale too. He changes it back. So we're going to clear our tare. So now my jar has 0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my starter. Now, I fed my starter yesterday, and even though I fed it, it does have a little bit of hooch on top. But I found that that's actually okay when I'm making my levain. So, and I put it in the refrigerator. So it's hungry. It's hungry even though I fed it. So let me know. Put a comment. Do you make your own sourdough starter and you make a levain? Does it matter to you whether or not? Okay, I've already got too much starter because I only need 38 grams and I have too much. So let's get a little bit out of there. And that's 42 and 36. Doesn't take much. Man, these with the using the grams, it doesn't take much. 37 and 38. Perfect. Okay. Now, I am going to set that aside for the moment. Now I am going to do my flour, and so I need, for my levain, I need a total of 76 grams of flour. So I'm going to use this measure. Once again, I'm going to clear out my tare, and I need 76 grams. So, reading it upside down. I'm reading my scale upside down. Oh, that's 77. Let's get a little bit of that out of there. I think this is why we Americans really like our measuring cups. It's just half a cup and you level it, or it's heaping, but it's not as exact. Hold that 76. And now I'm going to take and add my flour. Oops, lost a little bit. One of the reasons I do like this bowl, these measuring cups, is it's because I can squeeze it. It's got a little funnel tip right there, and I can just squeeze it in. Okay. And now I need 76 grams of water. So this is my filtered water. That was just a couple of drops too much because that's 78. Now we're at 74. This is, I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, wait, it says 77. You know what? I'm going to leave it at 77. I could go back and forth all day. And I also wanted to use a little bit more water in my recipe. So not more water in my levain recipe. That's not what I'm talking about. Just that 1 gram I'm going to be okay with because I could be doing that back and forth thing all day. But when I do make my bread later, because this has to sit for a few hours, I will use 20 grams more in my recipe. So I'm going to mix this up nice and very nicely, mixing that up, getting all of the flour that's at the bottom, all the sourdough starter that was at the bottom, getting that all mixed in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cheesecloth so that it's covered, and I'm going to take this over. So it's Georgia, it's winter, it's a little rainy and it's cold. So not only do I have the issues of needing to make sure my levain is warm, I want it at about 76 degrees. I also have moisture in the air, so it's going to be a little different. Let's just see what happens today. But this is going to go on my stovetop, and I'm going to show you what I do. I put it on my warming eye, but not directly on the warmer. I found a little trick with that. So I took a rubber band and just put it over this just to keep the cheesecloth on. All right, so I have this fabulous feature. I have this center, warming center. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on and choose just level 1. And then I have this cookie rack for cooling cookies. But when I do that, it lifts it up high enough so that when I put my levain on top of it, it doesn't get too hot. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just put this on top and I'll check back. What I have noticed is that this side of my eye doesn't get as hot as the center or the right side. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave it here, and it's going to sit for several hours, and then I will check it hourly to make sure that it's at the right temperature. And there we go. There's my levain. Okay, it's time to check the levain, and as you can see, it is cold. There, get that glare off there. As you can see, it's cold in my kitchen. 60 degrees. I've got the heat set on 69, but we are in a drafty house. So, yeah. So the levain, just wanted to show you that by putting this on the warming eye, but it's not sitting right on the warming eye. We're at 74, 75 on the out. So we want to stir it. But just wanted to show you that, yeah, I'm getting the heat that I need. I'm getting the heat that I need. Could be a little bit warmer, but it's definitely better than that 60 degrees that my kitchen is in. So now we see the temperature's dropping. So, okay. I've got about 3 more hours for this to sit. Have you tried using a levain? If so, would you leave me a comment and let me know how it worked for you, what you liked about it? Have you tried using freshly ground wheat yourself? Do you like it? What do you like about it? And what about Kamut? Have you tried grinding your own Kamut and making sourdough bread with an ancient grain? I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments. Thank you so much for joining me on my sweet urban living journey.